Well, there's a lot of weird narratives out there, and it always seems to be that way with any sort of sports for Ohio sports fans these days. This is the voice of the land. We are partnered with LPD Productions and brought to you by the great people at Greeny Sports Cards. Reach out to them, greenysportscards.com. That's greenysportscards.com. Make sure to follow them on all of the social media platforms where you can find them, and they always have great stuff going on, great shows going on. All that information can be found by going to greenysportscards.com. I'm Kevin Arnold. He is Ryan Mosser on opposite ends of the Northeast Ohio spectrum, like we have been the last few shows. Just, with being parents and stuff like that, it just makes things easier on Peter because, like, now he's literally not here anymore and he gets to get other things done, which I think is very helpful for him. So giving back to him, giving some of his time back to him, which is helpful. Ryan, I know we didn't get a chance to talk before we started the show, but my thought process for this show was kind of to keep it real, get real on some stuff.
I'm always
All
keeping
right.
it real, brother.
Because there is some weird and just outlandish narratives out there, and there's about the Browns, there's Ohio State,
Yep.
it's a little with the Guardians and with the Cavs too. So let's just start with the Browns, and the biggest news of the week, I think, is Paul DePodesta stepping away and taking a job with the Colorado Rockies to get back to baseball, to be their president of baseball operations. So that's one of three dominoes that people want to fall at by the end of this season
Yep.
that has fallen. And whether that was, it didn't seem like he was their first choice, Ryan, but he was definitely a candidate for that job. As we learn more behind the scenes as he was talking about it, was because he kind of knew that things were going to be changed after the season. So he was open to, he wanted to make it look like he took another job instead of doesn't want fired on his resume. I don't know. I just, again, I don't know. I don't know how things change because I don't know what he did.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I mean, we touched on this a little bit last week because it happened just before our show. But I
Yeah.
mean, the only thing I care about, like I said, is accountability. For accountability's sake, now there's not too many hands in the cookie jar, as people say. It's Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski. Now we can get down to brass tacks. We can figure out who's actually to blame. Like you said, we don't know. We don't know who's to blame for a lot of the bad picks that they've had since 2016. Since Paul DePodesta has been a part of this organization, but nonetheless, now we're gonna find out, and that's at least exciting for me. I'm glad he's gone. Like you said, we've been incompetent. We've probably been just as bad, if not worse, than before he even came to the Browns organization. Stick to baseball. That's obviously where your niche is. It's not here in football. I'm glad he's gone. Good riddance for sure.
And to be honest, to pull back the curtain, I kind of forgot that we ended up getting a chance to talk about it
Oh,
last week. Like, I forgot when it happened. But I mean, it was brought back up because he was introduced today in front of the Colorado Rocky media there in the Denver area, and they did, of course, ask him about he's been asked now two times in the last week since he's been hired there about the Deshaun Watson trade. And he just said, well, you make any sort of big transaction, the whole organization should be involved in that, and it was a collaborative effort, so we all have to own that. And then, of course, today, like, he said that same thing, but beforehand, he had to make snide comments about, kind of referencing him being the scapegoat, the one that, he said, oh, but people need to realize I wasn't even calling plays. Like, that's like, because he, making comments that everything was put on his plate.
Right.
Look, dude, you somehow you survived through some of the worst times of this organization, and we went, by the time at the end of your tenure, we were right back to the worst era of football with this team. And I just, I'm glad he's gone. I'm glad that that's one piece gone. I have a feeling that that's not the last piece to fall this season.
Yeah, I mean it's been long overdue. I mean I've been calling for these these changes for. I mean at least last year. I know I've been talking about it for 2 years. I talked about how, the Browns are just kicking the stone down the road and we're going to be in the same situation. I got blasted on Twitter for that. You don't know what you're talking about, but here we are and this sucks. I don't want to gloat, I'm right, but like you said, we're going to keep it real. And I've been keeping it real for years. Kevin Stefanski is incompetent. Andrew Berry, apart from the last 4 picks and maybe just a handful of guys throughout the last, couple drafts, has been incompetent. He can't draft a wide receiver to save his life. And apparently he can't even trade for one because Jerry Jeudy, we don't know what's going on. He had one good game last week. That's it. And Paul DePodesta was maybe the puppet master pulling the strings. I don't know. It's one domino. There should be more coming. I'm forgetting his name because he's irrelevant and unimportant. The special teams coordinator, Cintrone. Get him out of here.
Bubba Ventrone.
Ventrone, not Cintrone. Get him out of here. Dude sucks. He's garbage. We lost that game. I think Justin Fields had less than 100 yards, only like 7 or 8 completions. Like insane. We lost that game because of special teams. Even when our team does okay and better than the other offense, we still find ways to lose this game. I'm so tired of it. I'm ready to change. I'm ready to, have a new regimen. I don't care if it sets us back. We're already set back. We need new brains in this organization for sure. So.
Yeah, and we are the fan base that always thinks we can't be set back any further, and we redefine what it means to be set back further. Yeah, that was terrible. I'm back. Like the Jets' offense didn't even touch the field for an extended maybe 40 minutes of real time because of those kickoff and punt returns last week, and then jumping off sides, holding on a play where they're not going to throw the ball. Offense. Great. Dylan Gabriel threw a touchdown pass. It was like the most air underneath that thing that I had ever seen when I'm, since I was shooting a basketball, and everybody said I had the highest arc possible. That wasn't, it was put in the right spot, but it wasn't a great throw. And, sometimes I think we give a little too much credit when credit is not due on those certain things. And there were other throws where, he looks absolutely lost, and you look lost against the Jets defense that is probably going to get torched tonight against the New England Patriots on Thursday Night Football. And that's not just because it's on a short week. I'm sorry. Competent offenses would have been able to take care of that. Now, of course, you got put behind the 8 ball because of those returns. It's uncomplimentary football. That's the most consistent thing about this team. And to really keep it real as we get into that kind of theme, the things I'm hearing, and it's not because I'm hearing from sources and stuff like that. It's just hearing from people that cover the Browns and saying that it is more likely that we see Deshaun Watson on the field next than we do Shedeur Sanders. Ryan, that I am so apathetic about this team, and that's why there's not a lot of angst or energy or frustration behind the things that I'm saying right now. If you want to end my apathy and get me into tornado mode, you put that guy back on the field. I don't ever want to see him on the field again. I don't want to see him take a snap again. I don't give a crap. I don't like him. I never liked him. I never wanted you to trade for him. And it's not going to be all of a sudden that a miracle. If you want to come at me because I'm saying all the things that don't deal with football, well, look at the football resume since being in Cleveland. Hasn't been good. And that's not just because Kevin Stefanski was calling plays. I'm sorry, it's part of it, but it ain't the only thing. When you're throwing balls in the dirt 3 yards shy of a wide receiver that is open, that's not play calling. That's execution, and that is lack of ability. So if you want to look at football, he sucked. If you want to look at just overall and bringing him back in the spot of being the CEO of your football team, the face of your football team, that is an awful look, and everybody should go. And the only people that we can't fire is the people that I want to call for their jobs every single day. Everybody, we can call for Stefanski's job. We can call for Barry's job. It sucks to do that because we know as people we've lost jobs before, and that's it's just the nature of the business. I go way past them. I don't want this ownership group anymore.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's going to be hard to find someone to buy him. But nonetheless, yeah, I think if Deshaun Watson comes on this field at all, the fans will 100% revolt. They will see like record breaking, loss of sales, and I truly think that they will lose the fan base, and that's saying something because this fan base is not excited about this team. We are some of the most passionate fans in all of sports, any genre. Name any genre. I don't care if you're a Beyonce fan. Browns fans are more loyal and more, are better. I mean, but that's one way where you will absolutely lose the city, lose your fans. It's one we can deal with bad football. We've dealt with bad football, but don't make us look like fools again. Don't double down, triple down on the bad decision that you forced upon us on with the morally compromised quarterback or individual. That sucks. And there's no chance. If they do that, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad on the field and off the field because the fans will just not ride with them anymore. It's going to be really sad. And, going along with this younger generation, it's already harder to find, younger generation, a lot of kids who are Browns fans, in general. Like what, I mean,
yeah,
most of Browns fans are in their mid 20s to, going back to 60s back in the good old days. But, you're going to lose a large young demographic of your fan base if you continue just to be mediocre and stupid because, in the years of technology, we don't have the attention span, to sit around and just watch mediocre bullcrap teams when there's, fantasy football and the reach of, just stars in the league in general is at your fingertips. They're going to become fans of players and other teams that aren't terrible. So they need to figure this out and just stop being, I mean, yeah, it's a broken record talking about it since 99, but this is absolutely insane. Like, what is going on?
And if he is put back on the field this year, all of that talk again, we say at the end. APJ, always positive. Jay used to say it on here. We kind of said it together without knowing that one family member had said it to him, and someone in my life had said it to me. But don't talk about it, be about it.
Right.
I can handle listening to press conferences when you show execution, when you show productive play on the field as an organization. But none of that comes to fruition. So if we go back to March, when the owner said that this was a swing and a miss, one of like the worst swings and misses, an absolute mistake of a trade, and we're going to see the young guys on the field, and we don't see Shedeur Sanders before Deshaun Watson, this, I'm telling you, like you said, this city is going to revolt. And
we might riot, bro. It's gonna be
I am not going to be nice. I will not be nice because, I had an issue with it from the beginning. I know, all these alleged accusations and stuff like that, but you have a long list of accusations and alleged acts, stuff like that. And what was alleged against him, and really no remorse, no like there, I don't know. You just felt a wall go up, a facade when he was responding to all that stuff, and just I don't want any part of it anymore. He can be in the building because you got that contract and you put yourself in that position. So you need to look at your mistake every single day and live with that mistake every single day. That's fine. We didn't make that mistake. Fans did not make that mistake. Fans did not make that move. We should not have to live with that.
Yeah, but we are. And it's, that's the unfortunate reality is, that not only are we living with the fact that he's on our team, living with the fact that we paid $230 million guaranteed to this dude, but now living in the fact that like he's on our team, the third or fourth string quarterback with a team that needs a quarterback. We're paying him $230 million and the dude can't even be on the field. And if he is, we don't want him there. Like this, it's such a catch-22. What a conundrum. Like what an absolute just disgrace of just an organization right now, man. It's so depressing. It's so sad.
We suffer enough as Browns fans. We're suffering enough from the ramifications, knowing what this team can't do in terms of moves and adding players and stuff like that. We shouldn't have to have the added. Again, that's something they should have to deal with in that building.
Right.
Don't bring that to the fans to try to alleviate some of the pressure that you feel on your shoulders because you look at him every single day. We do not deserve that and should not have that. As we switch gears a little bit, let's stick to football and let's go to Ohio State. Time to keep it real again. This whole notion, like people wanting to discredit Ohio State, and I get it. I'm biased. I have scarlet and gray blood. I have scarlet and gray glasses. I got scarlet and gray necklaces, t-shirts, jackets, shorts, socks, shoes, all of it. I get it. Probably not going to, come off the way that I want it to. But this whole narrative that, oh, like why are they even ranked number one? They shouldn't even be ranked number one. They haven't played anybody. They haven't trailed. Like what are they gonna do when they trail in a game against a good team? They haven't trailed in a fourth quarter. I'm sorry. Who has Indiana played? They've played one team that is just 2 spots better in the top 25 than Ohio State.
Right.
Illinois is out of the top 25. Washington is out of the top 25. Don't think that they've played the team up north, have they? No, because the only losses that team up north has is to Oklahoma and who was the other one that they lost to? Because they have 2 losses.
I have no idea.
Why can I not? Maybe it was them.
Hey, Oklahoma, and they lost to USC.
USC. Yep. Yeah. So, you haven't played them. It's mind-boggling to me that we're making argument for just one team and not for another. And oh my goodness, Heisman moment. Give him the Heisman now. Fernando Mendoza. Look, I'm very cautious with how I approach this, even though I'm trying to keep it real, because I don't want to discredit Mendoza for the season that he's having, because it is definitely Heisman worthy, but that was not a Heisman moment. You are playing one of the worst Penn State teams in all of their history. You are trailing. You are playing like crap. And then you get, great. You came back. You had a great drive. Some great throws. Some throws, guys had to make plays on. That throw in the end zone, yeah, he throws it where only that guy can get it, but that was sailing way out of bounds. That dude has some vert. Like, that is a great catch by that wide receiver to save his quarterback. And, but he didn't have Surratt as his wide receiver. So, of course he struggled. Julian Sand didn't have Carnell Tate this past week. He hasn't had, there's been moments where Jeremiah Smith's been taken out of games and, Carnell Tate's been taken out of games. Let's find Brendan Rodgers. Let's find Porter. Let's find, Mylan Graham. Let's find Brandon Innes. Let's get him a little bit more involved. Like, it's mind-boggling to me that I get it that Buckeye honks, that's why people hate us, like the lunatic fringe, and there's a very small group of Ohio State fans, Ryan. But to me, Buckeye haters have become way more annoying than Buckeye honks ever have been, just because they want to be that next person to hate on Ohio State. And it's just annoying. Did I get hooked? Sure. It's annoying.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm used to every other team outside of Ohio State, every other fan base hating Ohio State. I brush it off. I really don't care. I see what this team is. Like I said, I look at the big picture. Every single unit, every single position room on this team, I could say is a top 5 position group in the country. I don't know. We're first in points allowed per game. Our defense is absolutely awesome. Third in turnovers allowed, 19th in points per game. This team is really, really good. Julian Sand is, playing his freshman year technically. Yeah, he's a redshirt freshman, but Will Howard was in there last year, and he's the most accurate quarterback I might have ever seen ever. Like you said, I personally like Fernando Mendoza. I was following him. I followed him when he was at Cal last year and the year before, because I do college fantasy football. But he's definitely stepped it up, and especially in the spotlight, he's shown that he could be a potential top pick in this next draft. But I don't know, man. I'm going with. My problem is Mendoza is absolutely the best player on his team, right? Like, Surratt's good, but is Julian Sand the best player on Ohio State's team? I'm unsure. Yeah, you have, Jeremiah Smith. You have Carnell Tate's really good. There's probably 10, 15 guys you can name that could be the top player, Caleb Downs, Arvell Reese, like so many guys. And that's what's going to, I think hinder voters from voting for Julian Sayin is because he's not the best player on this team, although he is one of the best at the best position or the most important position. I don't know. I think it's a shame that he's discredited just because he played for Ohio State, because there are so many haters. But Buckeyes players should know that going into it, that they're not only going to have opposing teams against them, but opposing fan bases as well, for sure. So
we're just going to go into that because I was actually going to bring that up. That Julian Sayin is discredited for because he plays with so many great players. Like, he's not actually that good. Okay, if you were seeing him throw like 3 to 5 yards like Dylan Gabriel does in the NFL,
right? Yeah,
and then guys were taking it the distance every single time, and his numbers were inflated that way, that's totally a valid argument.
Right.
But if you watch with your eyes, and I don't feel like a lot of people that discredit him actually watch with their eyes, they catch up later, they look at the box score, they look at the stats, and oh, well, he had 2 touchdowns, 300 yards, but like, look how much of that was Jeremiah Smith. So, like that's just because he's thrown to Jeremiah Smith. I'm sorry, I'll bring up, it's not a good team, but it's a team that's going to fight their ass off. I'll bring up the throw from this past week against Purdue, where there's 2 guys trailing on the hip of Jeremiah Smith, and it's not even that Jeremiah Smith has to dive for it, reach out for it. It is thrown over the shoulder in the breadbasket. Makes it look so easy catching it, but that ball is pinpoint accuracy. And there's so many other throws like that. Did the interception suck? Is that a bad thing for him? And trying to throw across his body? Absolutely. And if you don't learn from it, then you're going to get in trouble when you play better teams. Like, again, all of this will still figure itself out.
Yeah, I mean, the interception. He's young. I mean, he's played 10 games in his college career.
It gets greedy,
right? Yeah, I mean, he's playing. He's feeling himself. He's Cali born. He's on the best team with some of the best players. Of course, you're going to feel yourself a little bit. I mean, at the end of the day, he still has 24 touchdowns compared to 4 interceptions. That's not a problem at all. In college football, he is currently the most accurate quarterback with almost 81% completion rate. Insane. Almost 2,500 yards. This guy's absolutely electric and is being disrespected. He should be the front runner, absolutely, for the Heisman, but he's not. I mean, Jeremiah Smith, yeah, he's got the best receiver, probably the best player in college football who should win the Heisman, to Jeremiah Smith on his team. But that's not a testament to who Julian Sayin is. Smith only has 862 yards. Julian Sayin has 2,491 yards. It's not like he's throwing every single ball to Jeremiah Smith. Dude is spreading it around and just throwing absolute dots. It's incredible how accurate this kid is.
Yeah, I just and the only reason I brought that up is because there was a clip that was circulating on social media when I opened it up just before I left work today. Dan Orlovsky from ESPN on Get Up today, kind of questioning Ohio State, saying like, oh, like who have they played? They haven't trailed. When did that become a bad thing?
Right.
And again, they're playing in the Big Ten. The Big Ten is top heavy. We all know that. I've seen their schedule for next year, and yeah, it's kind of loaded. But, I mean, you started out with Texas, who was the presumptive number 1 team, and everybody wanted to talk about them coming in the season. Now they're back to number 10. They worked their way back to number 10 in the college football playoff rankings. Oh, but Ohio State hasn't played anybody. They don't get credit for that one. Everybody's going to tell you that, on the road, just because it's on the road, not at home, situations definitely matter in this case, and that was the first game ever for Julian Sayin and this defense and defensive coordinator and all that kind of stuff. Oh, they beat Oregon and Eugene. Well, Oregon kind of also handed them the game. If you're gonna be honest, like they handed them the game. Everything will figure itself out. Sometimes the other side of the argument needs a little bit of a bigger voice, and that's what we try to bring here. Let's go to the hardwood real quick. Cavs 8-4. What a win last night with their, I would like a mix of their A and C team.
Right.
With DeAndre Hunter and Jared Allen playing, and Jared Allen. Oh well, he can do that on a random Wednesday night against Miami, but he can't do that in the playoffs. 30-10. when did the regular season start to matter this year? Like, I missed that memo.
Yeah.
I thought we were just here to kind of like see a team like work through some stuff, see if they can like build some good habits, but like nothing was gonna matter till the playoff time. And the same people that said that are now criticizing every little thing that they do. I saw on Monday a whole list of my timeline saying people saying Cavs suck, this team's going nowhere because of like what they were doing against Miami. You know, did people realize that Miami was undefeated at home coming into that game? They had won a few games in a row. It's November 13th,
Right.
not April 13th. I don't, it's just like, I can't, I just want to enjoy basketball. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not digging too deep into it. I'm looking for little things as we get into January. Like, I'll bring some of those little things up the more that they show themselves forward. If they're a good thing, or even if they're a bad thing, if they're still showing, like, we'll bring up why that's still bad. But I think we're taking too much of this Browns hate and maybe apathy and trying to the frustration that people have just pushed way down.
Right.
They're taking it out on this team.
I mean, what? Why is everyone so mad? We're 8-4. Like, I mean,
don't
we're
know.
2 games back in the East behind Detroit. I mean, it's
I don't
stupid.
know.
62 of the conference, man. I mean, I don't know. It's very, very early. Very, very early. Only 12 games in. We have injuries. I mean, Darius Garland, he's playing, then he's not playing. We got Max Strus, who's not going to be in for a while. I mean, there's a long stretch of games to go in. We're only, 12% of the way through right now. Like, let's just let it play out. I mean, if you don't want to watch them, if you're going to be critical, I mean, then don't watch them. But like, I mean, 8-4, this is a good team. Yeah, you can't expect them to be 15-0 every year. You can't do that. I mean, this is absurd. I don't know. As much as I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the guys who have been pretty disinterested in the regular season so far. I mean, I think that with limitations of viewing, it's not on cable anymore. You have to download FanDuel and all these things. It's kind of hard for me, with kids now, like you said. But I mean, I'm still watching as many games as I can and following along, and I'm not pessimistic about it, man. This is early in the season. This is if you're not into it, then don't watch them. Wait till the playoffs, but don't sit there and criticize them, man. Donovan Mitchell's playing out of his mind right now. 30.4 points per game. I mean, Mobley is leading the team in rebounds right now. I don't know. I'm not really bored by it too much. It's if you don't want to watch it, don't watch it. So
the most surprising thing to me is that people in this town didn't make a bigger deal of, because like I didn't think it was a big deal, but I'm surprised that people didn't bring up the fact that Donovan Mitchell went to Louisville between the 2 games in Miami to watch Louisville versus Kentucky, which is alma mater, playing against their in-state rival, one of the bigger 2 of the bigger basketball programs, blue blood basketball programs going in college basketball. I was actually surprised because people brought up every time he wears a Mets hat.
yeah.
And then, as soon as you say, well, yeah, his dad has worked in that organization for a while, like he came up like loving them, like he's actually a fan of the Mets, then people shut up like, oh, okay. Like, I was surprised that wasn't brought up with the fact that they bring up like what he wears, like what these guys wear. People want to clown Jared Allen because he doesn't have like designer clothes on when he walks into the arena, and he just wants to be a simple guy, and like he can do that against Miami, but he can't do that in the playoffs. Well, guess what? The playoffs are still 5 months away, and he can't prove anything to you right now. It's not going to change your mindset. Like there's going to be games where it's just on FanDuel, or there's going to be games on national television where he struggles, Donovan struggles, but like that doesn't determine if they're going to do the same thing in the playoffs. They can't prove it until they get into that atmosphere. Right. I don't know why people are so mad. Like, watch it and just enjoy it. If you can't, like you said, Ryan, don't watch. Don't watch. It's just it's mind. I can't be on social media anyways. But during a Cavs game, oh my gosh, it's even worse than a Browns game. Because at least during the Browns game, you get like funny memes and stuff because people just want to laugh through their pain.
Half of them from me.
But the Cavs, they get hate. They get hate. It's all going to be okay, everybody. It's going to be okay. When it comes time for the frustration and anger, if they bring that back to us this year, we will make sure that we all get through it together like we always do. Real quick on the Guardians, of course, Luis Ortiz, Manuel Clase, Ryan, they have both now been arrested, arraigned, and out on bond in both of their cases. They are being tracked by GPS things. They can't bet while they're, of course, being investigated for alleged gambling acts, illegal gambling acts, throwing bad pitches to help like mini bets and stuff like that. The way that I wanted to get real about this, though, is that with the Browns losing to the Jets, a team that they should not lose to, everybody said like, "Oh my gosh, this is such a bad Sunday," because we got the word that they were, there were warrants out for both of those guys. Like, the reason I got confused, like why people were adding that as a bad thing, because they haven't been around this team in a while, and we knew that they were being investigated. And when MLB didn't allow them to come back, we all knew something was going to happen. They hurt their team. They just had their stuff taken out of the locker, and the Guardians are trying to move on because these are two anomalies in a great culture. But people want to go back to blaming the Guardians that they don't have a great culture, and that's why stuff like this happened.
Yeah, that's dumb. It has nothing to do with the Guardians culture. It has to do with, one or two guys who have, compromised their integrity. And I don't know. I mean, allegedly it was what, $12,000 they were trying to win. They think they helped help their accomplices with $450,000. They're looking at 5 to 20 years per charge and up to 65 years if convicted. Absolutely insane. I've talked about this several times. I feel like, I've brought it up a bunch, but I think that, I don't know. This is not a good time. I don't really like betting in general. I do not like it. I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. I think that gambling has compromised the integrity of the game forever, and legalized betting might actually, take them down eventually. It actually brings up a kind of a theory I have. I'll say it as reckless speculation, but I think that all professional sports
speculation.
I think that all professional sports are compromised in some way. If it's happening in professional basketball, it's happening in baseball. There's absolutely zero chance that NFL has avoided it. I think that it's just the tip of the iceberg, and a lot more is going to come out of this from all major sports. If anyone from any team is found guilty of this, they should be jailed. They should be tried. They should, it's awful. I'm really afraid for the future of just professional sports in general, because I don't know. I don't think the NBA is done. I don't think that baseball is going to be done. Not too long ago we had the incident with Shohei Ohtani and his translator. I think that should be investigated a little more. I mean, I don't want to, there's no allegations here, but that dude is supposed to be the poster boy and allegedly the best player in baseball history now. I would look into it a little bit. I don't know. So that's, I don't know. I'm so tired of sports betting. I really think that is going to bring down professional sports, and it's really unfortunate. So
when you saw all that stuff with the NBA, I mean, as part of like a bigger search in gambling issues with Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones, Javante Porter last year, costing himself his basketball career for all that. Like, unfortunately, I feel like it's going to get worse before it gets better and gets some sort of regulation or anything like that. I'll basically say your reckless speculation. I feel like a lot of people share that thought, and it's kind of hard to bring that up because sports betting is such a big part of the conversation. And every time you're on a sports talk show and you're talking about matchups, like the main thing everybody mentions? The Cavs are such and such point favorites tonight, or such and such point underdogs tonight against the Boston Celtics, and then you make NFL picks. The Seattle Seahawks are 2.5 point favorites against the San Francisco 49ers. They are at home. What do you got? What do you think? What do you think about the spread? That's part of just the conversation now. And I know enough to have that conversation, but I'm like you. I don't I don't like it. I don't want to get into it. I don't want to mortgage, and even if you were just putting like little like credits on it, pizza money as they say, like the little credits on it, that starts to add up the more that you put down and you lose and costing, a future for your family. That's not something I'm willing to gamble with, that's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Let's end on a good note. Regional semifinals in high school football tomorrow night. Fortunately, I guess fortunately or unfortunately, however you look at it, my responsibilities of high school football are done. But it's probably good to be home on Friday nights and help out Jana now. But regional semifinals, Mentor's got a big one against Camp McKinley. Kirtland's got the Smithville Smithies. I don't know why. I just love that mascot name. Um, there's a lot of big games out there. The game we had last week, Ryan, I don't know if you've heard of this kid yet, being recruited by Ohio State, D'Angelo White,
Okay.
tight end out of Villa Angela St. Joe's. That's 6'5", 2 something, tight end, defensive end. He's only a junior, so he's got a senior year next year. Him and Maple Heights came into that game last week against them, where they had injuries all season long. Their quarterback came back just like 4 weeks prior, who had over 2,500 yards passing. I think we kind of talked about this game a little bit last week, and like how it was, I felt like it was going to be like a really close game. It was 42-6 VASJ at the end of the first quarter.
Whoa.
Like VASJ is a team that I know that they felt like they could have had a much better run last year because they lost Bo Jackson to injury last year. And I'm telling you right now, like the look in their eye and the way that they're playing, that's a team playing with some motivation, some anger. I just love, this time of the year, the state playoffs. Like there's so many great stories out there. The Green Bulldogs were 1-5 at one point this season down in that Akron area.
Yeah.
They were 1-5 for their first 6. They won their last 4 games. They squeaked in the playoffs at 5-5. I think they were the 12 seed. They ended up winning their first round matchup. I can't be sure. I think that they beat Austintown Fitch, who was a lot of people's darlings most of the season this year. And I mean, they have won like 6 games in a row. So I just love the stories behind it, Ryan. I don't know why, but it still feels like pure and what like sports is supposed to be about. And I just love the atmosphere that it brings.
Yeah. Speaking of stories, I want to update on last week. I talked about Miles McLaughlin.
Oh yeah.
The running back out of Knox, Indiana, who is pushing the record to try to beat Derrick Henry's total yards record. Last week I said that he would need 279.5 yards per game and most likely go to the state championships to tie the record. However, he's averaging 364.8 yards per game. Last week they ended up winning. He put up another 383 more yards. That means that his total went from 1,118 yards needed to tie Derrick Henry's record to only 737 more yards now. He's at 11,389 yards in his high school career. Currently in third place behind Kelvin Taylor and then Derrick Henry. I think he's going to break it. But guess what? Now he's not only going for the all-time yards record for high school career, but he's also now in contention for the high school football single-season rushing touchdown record as well. Currently at 67 rushing touchdowns, and the record is 68. So he's going to smash that record.
Yeah, that's going to get smashed. Yeah.
And then finally, also last week I told you he had 0 offers and was a 0-star recruit. Well, after this past week, he gained his first 3 offers.
Nice.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited about that. I got offers from powerhouse programs of Franklin College, St. Mary of the Woods, and Wabash College. So, hey, man, he finally got some offers. But, I mean, I don't understand why teams like Bowling Green with Eddie George as the head coach aren't salivating over this kid to get them into this program. I'm super happy. I think he's going to break the season single yards record. He's definitely going to break the single season rushing touchdown record. I'm sorry, the first one was a career, not single season. But I'm super happy that he finally has a couple offers, and hopefully he'll get some bigger schools here. But at least he's finally getting some recognition. It looks like Kay Adams is also covering his final few weeks here as well. So check out her show as well. It looks like
I think
us two.
She's on the FanDuel Sports Network too. I think she's on the FanDuel Sports Network too. I think it's called Hey Hey K
K,
Adams.
yeah.
Yeah, Hey K Adams.
He's great. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and a lot of the clips that you need to see are always posted on Twitter and X. So look her up there and follow that story because that's something we're following now.
Dude,
And
it's fun.
yeah, it's definitely fun. St. Mary's of the Woods, man, that feels like
Franklin College and Wabash College, bro.
yeah, but like St. Mary's of the Woods, like I feel like I would have gotten a letter through my like by owl.
Yeah, right.
It's like a witchcraft type.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's St. Mary, so like all the Catholics out there, I'm fellow Catholic. I'm just making a joke. Don't worry. I'm not trying
Don't
to.
take it seriously. We're just having fun.
Yeah, just having fun. And schools we never heard of. So just having fun. I'm only referencing Harry Potter. Potter's not that bad. But that is gonna wrap it up for this edition of The Voice of the Land. Make sure to keep it real out there. We're gonna keep it real on this show all the time. Whether you like it, hate it, don't know what to think about it, we're always gonna do that. That's how the show is gonna be, and we're gonna keep on keeping on, like Joe Dirt always used to say. For Ryan Moster, I'm Kevin Arnold. Thank you so much for tuning into The Voice of Land. We are brought to you by the great people at Greeny Sports Cards. Reach out to them, Steve and Jeremy. Great people, greenysportscards.com. Such a great community with the sports card collection, memorabilia collection atmosphere out there. So make sure to reach out to them. They're absolutely among the absolute best when it comes to knowing what things are worth and trading and all that kind of stuff. So thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great night. You've been watching The Voice of the Land right here with LPV Productions.